So I'm just leaving the Lincoln Financial Field after Mauricio Pochettino's press conference. And really, why was that a Chelsea press conference? Well, just really to get a feel for the place and see what the facilities are like for tomorrow, test the Wi-Fi, just probably boring stuff like that really, but I think it was good to sit in on Pochettino's press conference, and he managed to ask him a question which he answered really well. Gave him a line. I asked him about Newcastle's presence really. I was never going to ask anything but that. It just is the Premier League a different place to the one he left behind when he left Tottenham, because obviously now, in my opinion, you've got a top 4 beforehand, and now you've got probably a top 8, and Newcastle are in that. So his answers were quite interesting from a Chelsea point of view, saying that Newcastle are already there. That's what his words were, in terms of being a candidate, challenger, whatever you want to call Newcastle. Yes, we know they're already in the Champions League from last season, but we're talking about next season now, whether they can return to that top 5, and with 5 Premier League places available to the new look Champions League spots. It was good to just get his view on it really. He said they're already there in terms of a Champions League pedigree, and he just felt that Chelsea were the ones almost, he didn't use the words catch up, but he said, you know, we are rebuilding here, and we are the team that's in a different zone to Newcastle. And he said the same can be said of not just Newcastle, same can be said of Brighton, who they play here tomorrow at this magnificent stadium, and also Aston Villa. So he's right, it's going to be the toughest Premier League season for many years, and I think he's been quite clever really, because he's taken the pressure off his team, almost saying they're rebuilding. But I think we all know what he's like, in terms of he'll definitely want them to be contenders. He won't be trying to get into the Europa Conference League or Europa League. We want to be right up there, and Newcastle will be a threat to that. So that's going to be very interesting from Chelsea's point of view. The other little thing he said, which I found interesting in the press conference, was he said that all these games Chelsea have got here, and the squad he's got, haven't got rid of a lot of players. He said that basically there's going to be an opportunity at some point, or a moment where he has to sacrifice, and he threw the Newcastle game in there. So I don't know what type of team he's going to be putting out in there. But here's a better look at the stadium from outside. Premier League banner, which we saw being put up before, right behind me. I mean, it's not a Mickey Mouse stadium by any stretch of the imagination, because this is the home of the Philadelphia Eagles. I don't know if you are NFL fans. That's the Premier League music we can hear in the background. If you are NFL fans, then you'll know that Philadelphia Eagles got the Super Bowl final last year, and they are, you know, one of the biggest names in American sport, no doubt about it. So it's a great venue, it's a great privilege to be here. It's a great privilege for Newcastle to play here, and they're going to really see a magnificent backdrop behind me, the Eagles backdrop. And with NFL being off season at the moment, it's a chance for Philadelphia to enjoy some football. The local journalists were asking about that in the press conference just then. Is it going to be a fully blown Premier League game? Well, the teams are setting up for that, so I can't see why it won't be a full-blooded encounter. I mean, there's no points at stake, but there's certainly reputations at stake, and I think Eddie Howe will not settle for any slacking. So that's the Eagles Stadium behind me there, and if we spin around here in the background, that's the home of the Phillies, Major League Baseball. Any baseball fans watching? Sadly, there's no baseball on today. They played yesterday afternoon, so it was too late for us arriving. But yeah, they got beat 4-0 off Milwaukee Brewers, so the least said about that the better, I suppose, from the Phillies' point of view. So yeah, so we're shaping up to day 3 now. That was Pochettino's press conference just then. Eddie Howe's press conference is coming up this time tomorrow, so at least we know where to go. At least we've got our passes. At least we know the Wi-Fi code. So it was a good experience coming here, and just good to have a look round as well. So on a day where we've already ran up the rocky steps, yeah, it's been quite an eventful one. It's quite a few rushes from the brain in the first couple of days here in Philly. But I'll sign off here for now. I'm sure you're going to see lots more content. There's already at least 2 podcasts up, and we will be doing a Facebook Live at some point as well. And yeah, anything else you want to see, then there's plenty of forums for you to let me know exactly that. So one final look at the stadium here. It's impressive. It's going to be more impressive tomorrow night and the night after when Newcastle play their first game. So it's Chelsea Brighton tomorrow, Aston Villa Newcastle on Sunday, and then it's on to Atlanta.